This is the BMW XM, and its name symbolizes that it offers the best of BMW's X line of SUVs and BMW's M Motorsport division. But I'll get to all else in a bit, because looks. Nothing, not the split-eyed 7 Series nor the bunny-toothed iX quite prepares you for the visual assault that is the XM. It's an SUV with a master's degree in shock and awe. It's cliff-faced up front, and BMW stylists have gone all out with that 2-meter wide canvas. The bonnet is all manners of sculpted. It's got split headlamps, there's a black applique lower down on the bumper, and then there's that. The grille's larger than your average TV and it glows. It's all muscles and flares at the sides too, and it stands proud on 22-inch rims with 23 inches available as an option. It's in profile that you see the vastness of the thing. It's 5.1 meters long and has a 3.1 meter long wheelbase. You won't confuse it for the like-sized BMW X7 though. The tight glasshouse and lower roofline help give the XM its own identity. And there's more. Just in case the XM is too subtle for you, there's also the option of a night gold metallic trim that brings in gold embellishments all over the car. Sharply cut taillights that jut out are a new age BMW style element you'd find on the XM too. But there's something that you also won't find on its tailgate. There's no BMW emblem on the tailgate, but you will find 2 laser engraved BMW logos on either side of the rear windscreen. This is a unique detail that links the XM to the original BMW M1 supercar of the 80s. That link has substance because the XM is only the second model after the M1 to be conceived by M, and not one built around an existing BMW model like other M cars. Purposeful vertically stacked exhaust set amidst a diffuser further the XM's image of a bruiser. The XM is not classically beautiful, but presence and show value is just mega. What do you think of the BMW XM, and would it be your pick of the super SUVs? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, please do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the Autocar India channel. Trimmed in quilted materials, vintage look leather and Alcantara with generous splashes of metal and carbon fiber, the XM's interior looks and feels special. You sit at a good height in the BMW XM, and those sat up front will find themselves on really comfortable thrones. Now these seats are multi-way adjustable, they get heating, ventilation and massage as well. And I really like the steering. The rim is just the right size, unlike the thicker steerings that you get on the M Sport versions of many of BMW's lesser cars. This is a very BMW interior in its basic layout though. Taking center stage on the dash is BMW's curved display. You get digital dials now. They get you a lot of information. Everything that you could want is on display by toggling. You also get a head-up display, which again serves you a lot of information. I would have liked more themes on the digital dials as you get on the latest lot of Mercs. As for the touchscreen, very slick to use, very informative, responsive as well, but BMW has just stuffed too much into it. Say for instance, you just want to change the blower speed. You have to go into a climate menu, then you'll be intimidated by the sheer number of screens you see, and then probably fiddle your way. Air recirculation, another step away. The blower control also feels flimsy in an otherwise high-end cabin. A driver's SUV the XM may be, but the rear section of its cabin is inviting in its own right. Space at the back is incredible. Now I'm just under 6 feet tall, the front seat is set to my driving position, and check out the knee room that I have. Even in terms of shoulder space, you are so well catered to. A third person can sit in absolute comfort. What makes this seat nicer still is that it wraps around you at the edges and gives the feel of being in a lounge chair. It's also beautifully upholstered and cushioned to perfection. But for all the comfort that it offers, it doesn't offer you any form of adjustability. You can't adjust the backrest angle or take the seat base back and forth. Amenities at the back include a fold-down center armrest, you get dedicated zones for the climate control system, and you get fit-outs for an optional rear seat entertainment system. However, what is missed is a sunblind for the rear window. If you've made it this far and are wondering, hey, no mention of a sunroof? Well, there isn't one, but the roof is crazy in its own right. The headliner gets these crazy angles and it comes lined by 100 LEDs that change color with your ambient lighting, and it really adds to the effect at the back. The XM might be the size of an X7, but it only offers 2 rows of seating. The gesture control tailgate opens to reveal a large luggage area, but there's no spare wheel. In fact, the boot floor doesn't lift at all. It's when you open the bonnet that things get interesting. The XM's powertrain comprises BMW's epic 4.4-litre twin-turbo petrol V8 in 489 horsepower and 650 Nm state of tune. But that's just one part of the story. The engine works with a 197 horsepower electric motor integrated onto the 8-speed automatic gearbox. Combined system output is 653 horsepower and 800 Nm. Figures up there with the super SUV biggies. In its driving experience, the XM is unique. The XM's powertrain has 3 modes. There's electric, which is a pure EV mode. There's hybrid, which is the default setting in which the engine runs alongside the electric motor. Then there's an e-control mode. Think of it as a hybrid mode, which is optimized to maintain a high level of charge in the battery. And it's in this mode that you experience the very best of the 4.4-litre V8 alone. Because the engine is charismatic as ever, feeling punchy, rev-happy and big on might. The electric motor fills in the blanks, but it's the engine that's the undoubted star of the show. The way it sounds, it's delightfully angry, and you also get an exhaust button that opens the flap behind and makes things louder still. Sure, a lot of what you hear also comes through the speakers, but I really can't complain because the music that's being made is still being put together by real instruments under that engine bay. The XM's gearbox co-hosts the party, delivering quick high RPM shifts. You can totally geek out on how you want your XM to drive. There's settings for drivetrain, energy recovery, chassis, steering, even the brakes, and also the xDrive system. And this being an M car, you also get 2 presets on your steering, M1 and M2, which can be configured via the screen. Drive your XM hard, make the most of that 4.4-litre twin-turbo V8, and then when you find that you're running low on fuel, switch to EV mode. That, to me, is the use case scenario for EV mode here. But how quick is the beast of Bavaria? So here we go. Zero to 100 kph takes 4.4 seconds. Now, it's not as explosive as other super SUVs. In fact, BMW's own X5M is faster, but 4.4 seconds to 100 in a 2.7-ton SUV, not a shabby figure at all. The XM is weighed down by its electric components. Its 2.7-ton bulk make it about 400 kilos heavier than high-performance rivals, and the weight and size can be felt in the corners too. The XM has got near 50-50 front to back weight distribution, it's got active anti-roll bars, it's got rear wheel steer, it's also got an active rear differential, it's got the works. And I must tell you, it steers really, really well. But it's not an SUV that shrinks around you like, say, a BMW X5M, X6M, an Audi RS Q8 or a Porsche Cayenne would. It's flat, it's poised, it feels grippy, but when you're really going for it, it also feels like the Titanic being driven at overdrive. The XM also has its quirks and features over everyday drives. One thing that I've noticed driving around in hybrid mode is that a lot of your city driving will be covered in EV mode alone. But when the engine does kick in, it kicks in with more urgency than you'd probably like, and that might not be in tune with what you want from the car at that point of time. You get a whack when you expect a pat. All-electric mode feels distinctive. You'll appreciate the powertrain's silence in full EV mode, and performance is actually more than satisfactory. It feels quite brisk, and top speed is upwards of 150 km an hour in pure EV mode. There's also up to 85 kilometers of all-electric range on a full charge. The headline number, an official WLTP economy figure of 61.9 kilometers per litre. You won't get that figure on our chaotic roads, but the XM sure isn't a binge drinker like other super SUVs. The numbers are made possible by the 25.7 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack under the floor. Regen tops up the battery, and there's also the option to plug in to charge at up to 7.4 kilowatts. The silence of EV mode is disturbed by the roar of the chunky Yokohamas, while a busy ride on the short travel steel springs also means you aren't cocooned from the outside world, as well as the sumptuous interior would have you believe. You can think of the XM as a brute with a green side. All well and good, but does it fulfill what you'd want of a super SUV? On visual drama, yes. On driving pleasure, Thing is, good as the XM is, it's not the benchmark on performance or handling. Sure, the plug-in hybrid arrangement enables silent running and Instagram reel-friendly fuel economy numbers, but you can't help but wonder if the XM really needed the added weight and complexity of a hybrid powertrain when the V8 engine alone in a higher state of tune theoretically could have delivered more performance. The fanboy in me sees the XM as an M SUV in which all-out performance should have been the guiding light. As a luxury SUV too, it's got the opulent interior but not the right comfort. The BMW XM eventually leaves you with the impression of being an SUV that's just trying to be too many things. Long story short, they are sportier and more lavish SUVs to spend your 2.6 crore rupees on.